So today we have been lent this stunning Mercedes AMG GT43 Premium Plus Edition. This is possibly one of the most incredible cars I've ever driven. So being honest, it just looks fantastic from the get-go. Quad exhaust at the back, the lights are beautiful, the wheels 21-inch alloy AMG wheels. We have got the 2-litre engine in here, so it's the turbo electrified engine, as you can see down on here. So this vehicle produces, out of a 2-litre engine, around 440 brake horsepower, which is incredible. When you look back a few years ago, you needed something like a V8 to produce that level. We're now getting this out of a 2-litre. So, following the car around, you can see various different design elements. So we've got the amazing front grille here as well. You can see on the badge here, there is the AMG badge. Looking around the lights, and it just looks mean from the front, a really nice looking car. So let's hop in. After jumping in this vehicle, you can see the focus is on the technology in here. So, as well as being an incredibly comfortable vehicle to drive, this thing is kitted out with a huge amount of technology. So we've got a massive central display screen, along with digital cockpit and head-up display as well. Now, there's a few features in here I really like. Mercedes, it's one of a kind when it comes to the ambient lighting. The lighting is fantastic, loads of colours, loads of choices, and you can just see it sets the vehicle out nicely. Second thing I love about this vehicle is the sound system. The Burmeister sound system is just incredible. It's not only loud, but the definition really is there. So, I'll get a proper video starting it up outside later on in the video, but we'll start it up within here. So, foot on the brake, and you can already see this car looks at startup. So, things you will notice immediately with the vehicle. So, display here, we have currently got this set in the Super Sport mode. So, looks really mean. Shows us all the facts we need: G-force, speed, accelerator pedal, brake pedal. So you can see here, moving my foot on the brake pedal, you can see just how much force I am applying. The thing I really like on this with the steering wheel is your customization. So it's currently in comfort mode, but if we turn these dials, we can switch it around. So individual, you can moderate yourself. Slippery, well, trust me, we've needed this with some of the rain recently because the power on this is incredible, and being rear wheel drive, it's a lot of fun to drive. But going the other directions, we have got Sport and Sport Plus. Now in here as well, we have customization on the dials here. So we've got two dials that we're able to use and change around, so we can turn the exhaust off and on and the dynamics. But we can change the options on here. So we can flick through and see the options we want. And that works on both sides. And it just gives it that little touch that makes it a bit more special, because you are able to adapt the vehicle to your requirements. So again, if, for example, I'm wanting a comfortable ride around town, I can turn the exhaust off. I can make sure the dynamics are in soft. I can make sure that it is in basic AMG dynamics. So the vehicle works really nicely. So moving across to the big central display then. Well, this is just fantastic. Huge display, covers everything we need. Now we can control everything from here. So looking in here, we've got our basic Mercedes Benz apps, settings, comfort, performance, your phone, full Android Auto and Apple CarPlay wirelessly, with a wireless charger to keep the phone charged. Just little things that have really added into this vehicle. So we have got massaging seats with 3 different types of massage: your classic, relaxing and activating. We can amend what we want the seat to do. So we can change the seat kinetics, the lumbar, the side bolsters, the heating on it. It's got heated and ventilating seats. We can change the ambient lighting colour. So as we mentioned earlier, if we look at these colours, we can swipe through the dials and change them to a colour that is more suitable for you. Personally, I like the blue, sets it apart quite nicely. The navigation system on here is also fantastic. So Mercedes have built in some really fantastic features on here. So they've built in something called the Mercedes AR navigation, so the augmented reality navigation. So we'll get a video of this later on in the video, but what this does is when you are coming up to a junction or a roundabout, it actually produces the image of the road in front of you on the screen, but overlays the navigation features on there as well. So it makes it that little bit easier to know where you're coming. So the new MBUX system is fantastic. The customizability is amazing, but also we've got some track options being a sports car. So what this will do, this allows you to actually select different tracks. But not only that, we can go into drag race mode and we can see the 0 to 60 and 0 to 100 times. And that is also replicated up on here with the green lights, looking very nice there as well. We've also got our standard telemetry, so we can see speed, accelerator pedal amounts, brake pedals. We can have a look at our full statistics while driving this vehicle. So again, this vehicle is the best way of putting it is, it's a very understated beast, because if you said to somebody, I've got a 2-litre engine, they're going to be thinking your standard 2-litre 200 brake engine. They are not going to be sitting there thinking, okay, 2-litre, well that 2 litres producing 440 brake horsepower combined with a mild hybrid electric vehicle system. They're not going to be thinking that, and it's really going to set this across and set this differently. So from here, you're able to, as I say, deactivate the track system, but we're able to look at various different aspects on here as well. So if I go into AMG Performance, not only can I see here the actual vehicle and what's happening with the vehicle, the different suspension, I can also have my accelerator and brake with my G-force, and also tyres with tyre temperatures, as well as your tyre pressures, your G-force meter in the bottom left. We can also see what the engine's doing. So we can see just what we're putting through the system. So you can see, as I tap of the accelerator, the different horsepower going up and down. We have an IWC watch attachment on here. So, International Watch Company of Switzerland, fantastic watches. They've set this apart really nicely as your track timer as well. So you can see just on there the thought that's gone into this, as well as your consumption. The consumption, okay, it doesn't look fantastic on there, but I've been driving this now for nearly 2 days. And actually, on a long run, this vehicle's producing anywhere between sort of 35 and 37 to the gallon, which actually isn't as bad as it sounds. So for anyone that knows me, I've moved between quite a few vehicles in my time. You can currently see my old vehicle over there, the BMW M235. That was the same sort of miles per gallon that I was getting out of that. And bear in mind, that was 300 brake, but still a 2-litre. This has got an extra 140 brake horsepower and still getting some really good consumption. But you're not buying this car for the consumption, you're buying it for the fun. Another view from outside looking into the vehicle. So really nicely set with carbon fibre on the vehicle. Said ambient lighting setting it really nicely. This vehicle also, believe it or not, is actually a 4-seater. Now, being honest, you're not going to get someone like me at 6'3" and quite a big guy. You're not going to get me in the back of this vehicle, but it is nice for the option being there. The thing with this vehicle that I was amazed by is actually the size of the boot. So usually your standard sort of coupe roadsters, you're not going to get a massive amount in the boot of them, but this, you could quite happily get a suitcase in here and it not be a problem. So comfortable, going on holiday, very easy in this vehicle. So I want to give a special shout out to the team Virtu Mercedes Benz of Reading, who've lended me this vehicle on loan for a couple of days, and a special shout out to John and Sam for their support with this. Without people like John and Sam, this would not be possible. So, we've had a bit of a look at the outside and the inside. Now the key question is, what is this going to be like to drive? So, let's take it out for a spin tonight. I mean, first impressions of this vehicle is, it is just insane. Beautifully designed inside, the technology is fantastic. I mean, the steering wheel itself having these customizable buttons so I can change what I'm doing on the vehicle. As you can see, got the exhausts on, and just the sound of this car sounds immense. So what we're going to look at now on this is quite clever. So when you are in lane and unfortunately you move out of the lane, if I attempt to move to the left, you'll see that an arrow is actually projected onto the road, advising me that I am too far over. So another clever feature in this fantastic car. So another really cool feature with this car on startup is the animation from the lights. As you you can see the lights are going across. Got a really cool light feature, but again, turning it off, this is where we get a little bit of a light show. So you can see here we've got the bars going across, followed by the Mercedes and the AMG logo projected. A nice little bit added on. Likewise in this car, with the internal lighting, changing the heating up and down, up goes red, down goes blue. Again, little touches that make it just that little bit more special. So I've got my passenger filming this part, but as you can see here, the augmented reality system of the sat-nav projects the actual live screen in front of you and projects the navigation instructions, so roundabouts, exits. You can see here it has projected the destination. So we've just dropped her back now, so dropped her back to Mercedes in Reading. So again, a thank you to the Virtue Mercedes team and Sam and John in particular for this amazing opportunity.